On this edition of City Profile, I'll be talking with Mayor Bill Paxton about the state of the city. Stay with us. Hello and welcome to City Profile. I'm Tom Butler, and once again, it is my pleasure to introduce the Mayor, Bill Paxton, and today you're coming in to tell us how Paducah is doing. The state of the city. You recently gave an address to the chamber, I believe, on the state of the city, and we'd always like to get you to come in and talk to us on TV and let folks know how it's going. So how are we?
Well, Tom, good to be with you.
Thanks.
Again. And the state of the city is good. I could be a little partial on that, but I think the state of the city is good, and wanted to come out here today and talk a little bit about what all's going on. There's two subjects, that I think are most important for any city, and that is a good quality of life, and then economic development.
And you've been consistent since you were elected the first time on those two issues, worrying and planning for and working with the quality of life and the economic development.
Well, you've got to have jobs in order for people to move into your community. And then once they have good jobs, then they have to have something to do in their spare time. And those are quality of life issues. So to make your community grow, I think those are the two big subjects.
Well, let's look at each of those areas individually and start off with the quality of life in Paducah. Now, the big thing that's been in the news recently is the city's purchase of the Executive Inn. Mm-hmm. Just bring us up to date for those that might not be, following the news as closely. What's the timeline has been on that, and what's going to happen a little bit in the future? Okay,
Tom. On December 23rd, the city purchased the Executive Inn for $1.8 million. And we have now are in the process of putting out RFPs, requests for proposals, in order to liquidate the furniture and fixtures and things of values and sell those items. And then a request for proposal from a contractor to tear it down.
So it is going to be torn down, not going to be renovated. It's going to be torn down.
At this particular time, our plans are to demolish it and have a site-ready site for a developer to come in. And we are then going to put out RFPs for that also, for a developer to come in here and build a new hotel on that site. So we're excited about it. We have a beautiful convention center right now. We have.
Is that all ready and everything in place for the quilt show in April?
The Julian Carroll is remodeled in a $5 million remodeling project. The Expo Center is about 7 years old, and it's in wonderful condition. We have ordered a pavilion. 37,000 square foot pavilion, and that will help us to accommodate the vendors for the quilt show.
On screen right now you see at least a rendering, if not a real picture of that pavilion. It looks pretty big.
Well, it is.
37,000 square feet, I guess, is big.
It's a big pavilion, and now that we do not have the lobby of the hotel in order to have the vendors located, we had to have additional convention space. So we have purchased this air dome pavilion. It will go where the Lourdes Hospital site currently is, outside the flood wall. So we'll have approximately 140,000 square feet for the for convention space. And because we did that, Tom, we now have a 5-year commitment from the AQS, American Quilter Society, that they will be in Paducah for the next 5 years.
And that's great. The only question that I have in relationship to that is, you're losing about, what, 400 rooms with
Right.
with the executive inn.
Right.
Is Paducah going to be able to absorb those, or are the quilters going to have to move farther away from the site?
Obviously, we have a total now, as I understand it, somewhere around 2,500 motel rooms. Then we have rooms in Metropolis and at the lake and different places. This will require the vendors who like to stay at the executive inn because they want to be close to their wares. It will require them to have to stay out in the community. And it will probably mean there are a few people that will have to stay farther away from Paducah than they have in the past. But that's going to be a short-term problem, maybe this year and possibly next year. By the third year, I'm hoping that we'll have a new hotel with, say, 200 rooms, and those vendors will be happy, and then we'll actively go out and try to bring in more conventions in the years ahead.
Is there a plan yet, and this is not a part of your State of the City, it's just something I'm curious about. There was a lot of controversy about where the hotel was built, when it was built. Will a new hotel be built on the same site, or will it be somewhere, it'll be connected to the convention center, obviously, but I didn't know if the plan would be to put it inside the flood wall.
Right now, it will be at the exact site where the current executive inn is now. Something could happen to change that, but right now we have talked to the Corps of Engineers. They are comfortable with the fact that the hotel can be located there. So at this particular time, we plan on the hotel to be exactly where the old hotel is. Instead of being spread out, it will probably be 8-9 stories tall. So it will be a more attractive building, and we're excited about having a developer come in here and develop that.
That'd be great. What else is going on as far as economic development?
Well, before we leave quality of life, we've got the sports park, the 165 acres. At exit
purchased,
11,
right?
that is purchased, and we are currently doing a fundraiser that will hopefully pay for that property. People that are soccer supporters will do a fundraiser over the next 9 months, and hopefully we'll be able to raise the money to buy that land. We then hope that in that period of time that the city and the county will come together and partner on this. It really doesn't make any sense for the city to be out there all by itself. We need the county to help us with that. So we're hoping the county will join us, buy the land, and then we will start working on that park in phases, and until we eventually have a state-of-the-art sports park. So we think that is something that Paducah needs. Currently, the soccer fields are on top of our city dump. It is not safe. I don't think it's safe to be out there and breathe what's out there. So I'm excited about having a new park and bringing in soccer tournaments and other tournaments to the community. So, but what I wanted to say, Tom, is people are going to ask, how are we going to pay for all this?
That's always my question.
You've got the executive inn, you've got the demolition of the executive inn, you've got the pavilion, and you've got the sports park. Like I said, the sports park hopefully will be paid for with donations, and David Hutchinson is currently spearheading that. But we have, when we increase the payroll tax from 1.5% to 2%, we started what we call an investment fund. And that investment fund, that 0.5% increase raises about $4.1 million. And that goes for economic development incentives, it goes for infrastructure and roads and curbs and gutters, and it goes for new neighborhoods. We will float a bond issue, and we will use part of that income from the investment fund to amortize that bond issue. So we have the plan set up to make those payments for the bond issue. Along the, when we did the budget last year, April of 2009, we decided that we wanted an efficient city government. So what did we do? We initiated an operational efficiency plan. Frank, quite honestly, had to lay some people off. We consolidated some departments, and we saved $2 million from that plan. That was on top of a completely restructuring the fire department several years ago that is saving us $1 million a year. So from that, with that $3 million plus the investment fund income, we're going to be able to amortize the bond issue to do those, and we think it will bring taxes into the community. It will be something that will make our quality of life better here in Paducah.
Good. One thing that is we're not scheduled to talk about, but I'm just curious. What's the status on the marina? I know we were held up by an environmental issue regarding the mussels, but I haven't heard an update on that recently.
Well, we are still being held up by what the environmentalists called endangered mussels. And we're going to have to move those mussels before we can build our marina. We're in the process of getting that arranged, and we hope to move the mussels. We hope to start construction of phase 1 of the riverfront. The riverfront will be built in 3 phases. This will be in the Schultz Park area. It will have greenway space. It will have a marina that will allow boats to come in to Paducah and stay overnight. So it will be a beautiful phase 1. We have $9-something million from Senator McConnell. We're hoping to get some additional stimulus money from the state and complete phase 1, which will be a $13 to $14 million project. And then we'll go on to phase 2 and to phase 3. So that's exciting. Our ice skating rink has been a big hit. We had 11,000 people, Tom, come to that ice skating rink in about 2 months.
Wow, that's a lot.
And people came from Southern Illinois. They came from Western Kentucky. Our students came home. They had something to do when they were home. And we're going to continue to do that, even though those are expensive projects. It gives our people something to do, and it's a good quality of life.
With the ice rink bringing those people into downtown, did you hear from any of the merchants downtown saying that their business picked up due to that as well, or is that something that you don't know? No,
we don't know that for sure. We're assuming that people stayed in downtown and ate at our restaurants. We're assuming that people showed up without socks, without gloves, without a scarf, and they need to go to Hooper's to buy that. Mm-hmm. But matter of fact, Hooper's had a little shop right there that they had opened sometime to sell those kind of items. But yeah, I think it had to be a positive for particularly the restaurants. And but it gets people out, it gives them something to do, and it brings new people to Paducah.
One of the things I like about it is you keep the cost low.
Keep the cost low.
It's not too expensive for people to come in. Even people that might not have, that might be in a low income bracket, they can still come down and go skating, and I think that's cool.
Exactly.
All right, what else?
Well, we've got the Greenway Trail.
Love the Greenway Trail.
Phase 1 is completed. It's a mile and 0.75 one way, 3.5 miles back and forth. We're getting ready to start on phase 2 and phase 3, so you'll eventually be able to go all the way over to the Irving Cobb Bridge. There'll be a tunnel under that highway. It'll come up behind the smoke shop. You get back up on the flood wall, and there'll be a trail that'll take you all the way down to the executive end. So it'll be somewhere around 5 to 6 miles one way. It'll be a great place to ride your bike, to walk. And so we hope that by this time next year, we'll have all three phases open and operating.
Open and operating. So you are starting construction then.
We have the money. The money is in the bank, and all we've got to do is start construction, and we're excited about that. Eventually, we'll start out the south side of town towards that area, and we'll have we could have 12 or 15 miles here within the next 2 or 3 years.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
More opportunities for people to go out and get exercise and just
That's
be
right.
out and not in front of that TV all the time. Although we want you to watch the TV.
That's right. That's right. Get out and get exercise. Stay away from traffic so you're not in danger of being hit if you're on a bicycle or walking, and you're safe. We're going to have park rangers that are going to be patrolling it all the time.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
So it'll be something that'll definitely be a positive for the city of Paducah.
Good. Anything else in the quality of life area that you want to talk about?
No, I don't think so. Obviously, along with things to do, a city has to have a first-class police department. We have that. Chief Berry, our new police chief, is in. He's doing a great job. So our police officers are out there making people safe. That's a quality of life. We've got a new fire chief, and Chief Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that fire department running extremely well, so we're addressing our fires, we're addressing our crime, and so from that standpoint, that's a quality of life issue, makes your community better. So then we go into economic development, Tom, and obviously we're addressing economic development from three stages, really almost four, and I'll explain that. But first, we're doing the traditional economic development recruiting through Greater Paducah Economic Development. We go out and we try to bring new businesses to town, or we try to help existing businesses expand. An example of that is the Credit Bureau. They're just adding 11,000 square feet to the Information Age Park. They're going to add another 40 people, which will give them a total of 170 people. And I tell the story that when I was at the bank several years ago, they had an office inside the bank building with like 5 to 6 people. Now they've got that beautiful office building with 170 people. Now that is economic development, creating jobs, entrepreneurship, whatever you might call it. Speaking of entrepreneurship, we have started a new project called Paducah. Mm-hmm. It is being directed by Terry Reeves, a bright young man that was with Dippin' Dots and has joined us. So we're encouraging people to start their own business and to be another credit bureau or another CSI or something like that. So we're working on that side. The third area is our Paducah Uranium Plant Asset Utilization Task Force, and that is chaired by the mayor and the county judge. It has people from the plant, and our goal is to try to bring more nuclear-related jobs into Paducah. We have a wonderful plant out there. It's the only enrichment uranium plant in the country. So why not try to bring more jobs, maybe a nuclear power plant, something like that. So we're working on economic development from that angle. The fourth angle would be working with Bill Beasley and Kristen Williams on the Purchase area park that's between Mayfield and Paducah. They're out trying to recruit industry, and they've got a beautiful park there, the Regional Industrial Park. Bill Beasley and Kristen Williams are working hard on that. And then you add our Information Age Park, our Industrial Park West, and our Riverport West. And then you add what's going on at our traditional Riverport Authority, and that is a new container-owned barge facility that we are working on a grant that we hope to be able to move container-owned barges up and down the river, which will help make Paducah a first-class distribution center. So we've got a lot of things going on. We're working on creating jobs from a lot of different angles, and I think we'll be successful. We brought in last year the Thoroughbred Research Group, which is a call center, and we've hired roughly 75 people. We hope to make that 100 before it's all over with. So we have the Kentucky Publishing Company. West Kentucky News is building their new headquarters in the Information Age Park.
So that's finally starting to take off a little bit, because we had real high hopes at the beginning of that, and it didn't seem like it worked out the way we wanted to, but it seems like now it's coming together.
Tom, you never say positively something is going to happen, but it looks like ground will be broken soon. They have a site right in the Information Age Park and Highway 62 that they want to locate, so we think that's going to happen. We know that we're a hub of the inland waterway. We have many river companies, Ingram, Crounce, James Marine, Marquette, all these companies. We're adding another one, and it's AEP, American Electric Power, river business. American Electric Power has a river part of their company. They are going to move to the Resource Center in the Information Age Park. They will start with 40 people, but I see that company growing. They're a first-class company. They're right behind Ingram as the largest barge company in the country. And as you see in that screen, the top building is what they ultimately want to build on the riverfront behind the Four Rivers Center that will be their eventual corporate headquarters.
And building a lot of really nice buildings in that area, the river companies have, and making that area look a lot nicer. And
you're exactly right,
cool.
Tom. And that's going to be our growth of the downtown Paducah is in that direction. Our Coast Guard is opening a Center of Excellence, which they have been protecting the ships that are on the blue water for many years. This is a group that are going to try to protect the barges going up and down the inland waterway from terrorists to make sure that they're operating correctly. And that's going to be a 7-man office. And they will be training 25 to 30 Coast Guard personnel periodically during the year. So those people will be eating at our restaurants, staying at our hotels, spending money in Paducah. So we continue to grow our river business, and we know we're going to be the hub of the inland waterway for many years. But we're also, we're talking to Paducah and Louisville Railroad. They are expanding. They just have been successful at buying several regional railroads over the last couple of years. And there are lots of communities that would like to have them located in their community. So we're working with them to guarantee that they will stay in Paducah long term. And we're looking at a new location for their headquarters. And so those are the type of examples that we're doing right now to not only bring new businesses to town, but to help our existing businesses expand and create new jobs.
And I notice here that, and I've been seeing the advertisement, that we have a new carrier, or at least a new some flights from Paducah to Chicago.
That's
from
right.
the airport, and that's good. We have about 4 minutes left, so I know that there are some other issues that you would like to address. So I see that the unemployment rate is an issue that you talked about at your chamber presentation. How are we doing as far as our employment?
Well, our unemployment right now, as of the end of November, was 8.8%. The state is 10%. Actually 10.1. Nationwide, we're at 10%. So we're doing better than the rest of the state or the country. And that's a good thing. Education. Tom, I have to say that we're excited about Mid-Continent coming to Paducah. We're excited about Murray State wanting a Paducah campus. We're excited about the technical building opening here on the campus, West Kentucky Community and Technical College. And so not only are we bringing companies and jobs to the community, but we're going to train them after they get here, which will give us an advantage over other communities.
And that's important to employers, that we have an educated workforce. That's a term we hear a lot. You need to have an educated workforce, and I believe that this college, along with the other college partners that we have, are trying to make that happen.
Trying to make that happen, and that's what that technology building is going to do. Getting back to education, the art school is going great, and we hope to have that in Lower Town and with lots of students. So we have good education prospects. This could be the hub of education in the Jackson Purchase area. So lots of good things going on. I want to continue, Tom, and next year to continue to cooperate with the county, have us work together. And then I'd like to continue to address merged city-county government and merged city-county school systems.
What's your take on the possibility of having a metro government type of system here?
We have a task force that's working on it. City has named so many people, the county named so many people. They're talking, the mayor of Lexington that implemented metro government came down last week to talk to them. So there's a lot going on. It's an educational process. We then will put it out on a referendum, and we'll see how the voters feel about it. If you want the best government for every single constituent, metro government's the way to go.
All right. So we will be looking forward to 2010. In 2008-9, the city is in good shape.
I think it is, Tom, and but there's always challenges out there, and so we're going to continue to work on those and try to make the city the best city we can.
Mayor Bill Paxton, thank you very much for joining us here today on City Profile, and thank you for joining us. I'm Tom Butler. We'll see you next time.